Good afternoon, good evening. We are back, guys. It is Wednesday, and you know what that means. We've got a little bit of woo-woo coming your way. And as always, my co-host, Salty Texas C. How are you doing?
I'm all right. I have a question, though.
Okay.
Is it still Wild, Weird, Werewolf, Woo-Woo Wednesday, or is it some other Wild, Weird, Woo-Woo Wednesday, Purple Valkyrie?
I like the werewolf woo-woo Wednesday. Yeah, we're going to have to talk werewolves at some point, but yes, keep it going.
Pro werewolf.
We are
Team Jacob.
Absolutely.
Team Jacob, 100%.
Speaking of team, let's see who we've got. We've got Blaine's Escape Corner. Great to see you. We've got Leaky. Hey, Leaky. Good evening. Amanda Nephron. Great to see you as always. Let's see. We've got Brimstone. He says, "Hey, Valkyrie, good to see you. Hey there." And I know I saw the lovely Leia Rose in here as well, and Jacob Ironside. And we've got Gum Bunny. Hey, sweetheart. Great chat. Hey guys, people. Welcome. So we talked kind of ghosts last week. I thought this week we would kind of swing back and talk aliens, because we do like talking aliens and UFOs, and there's been quite a lot of stuff that's been in the news recently.
A lot of very fascinating things, some of which I gotta tell you guys, I found troubling. I mean, troubling with a little T, not like troubling like go hide in the basement with grandma on a shotgun. Not yet, but and it's not in the way you think. We'll get to that though. We will. So let's talk about fun woo woo before we talk about like WTF woo woo.
Absolutely, yeah. Well, we have to kind of ease into that. So the first thing I'm going to pull up, it's only a short one, but we have got, so it says the US Navy, they are not going to release their classified footage that they have. They say they have a lot of it, but we don't get to see it because it will damage national security.
Oh, shit.
Really? Really?
Yeah. I'm sorry. I should have muted for that.
No, we've covered this, and we covered that kind of a farce of a
before the Senate.
Yeah, it was the Senate.
Where they were showing targeting balloons. They were showing literal weather balloons and saying, "Oh, look, it's a UFO." And it's just like, we'd go back, we'd look through it, and it's like, dude, that's not a UFO. Like, I've seen a UFO, people in chat have seen a UFO, people have seen, it's a freaking Mylar balloon. All right. I'm just surprised they didn't go to the dollar store and get like, those birthday balloons with like, a bunch of different random numbers and like Care Bears and Transformers, and release that and go, look, you idiots, look, you stupid people that just don't want to be part of a one world government. Look, it's an alien. Again, we will get into the article that has me fired up later on about that. We'll just talk about that.
Absolutely. So let's see what they've got to say. So the Navy says it has more UFO footage, but doesn't want to make it public. The US Navy has said that the release of any additional UFO footage would be, in quotations, detrimental to national security, and that all the government UFO footage is classified information. They weren't saying that a few months ago. So what's changed?
No, when they have the sock puppets out there and we're dropping all of these things about the Nimitz strike group and other things. I mean, we had reports over the last months, a couple months, of other craft following United States military naval vessels. Why this article is important, chat, is because I'm concerned. This is crafting a narrative to something that you are not going to believe, because I don't know if I believe it myself. But why this is important is that we seem to live in a world of narratives. You're a racist if you don't like the Rings of Power. You're a racist if you didn't do this. You're going to kill grandma if you don't take an experimental thing that'll destroy your DNA. It's been a lot since March 2020, and where the crescendo of this may be the article that we will get to, but this is important, Purple Valkyrie. I'm sorry, I had to spurg out a little bit because this is nuts. All of this shit.
No, you are absolutely right. And once you start kind of connecting the dots, and call us crazy conspiracy theorists if you like, but it kind of all leads down the same path. So let's see what else they've got to say. It says, in response to a Freedom of Information request, the Navy told the Black Vault website that any public release of new UFO footage would harm national security by providing valuable information to advertise about the Department of Defense or Navy operations, vulnerabilities and or capabilities. No part of the video can be selected for publication. So that implies to me that it's something quite big that they've got. And now they've said this before, and the stuff that we saw that they released, it wasn't fooling anybody. So what have they actually got, and what are they seeing? And as Salty correctly said, we've got reports of ships being followed by UFOs. This seems to be a common occurrence now.
Yeah, and the other thing is, this stuff's been going on for, I gotta do math, 70 years here in North America, but even going back to the indigenous populations of America reporting things, going back to when the European ships first started crossing the Atlantic, they were seeing light, and it is in Christopher Columbus's own journals, his captain's log, talking about major shapes and lights rising out of the ocean. These things have been reported. Now, what the hell are they? I don't know. This right here is grade A bullshit. And again, I'm concerned this is going to be used for a narrative, which, what else happens in 2024? Here, let's just say that. We're not going to get into it, but you guys think about that at home, okay?
Yes. What's on the horizon? And just read this last couple of paragraphs because it did make me smile. So it says, is this true that the 3 videos leaked by former Blink-182 vocalist Tom DeLonge and the New York Times were not officially released in the first place? But the Pentagon has been talking about UFOs regularly in recent years, and earlier this year it showed additional UFO videos to Congress, which is the weather balloons that we were talking about. It appears that the military wanted to tell the public and Congress that UFOs are very real and a threat, and that they need more funding to determine that of what they are and how to possibly protect us from them. But they continue to keep the tapes under lock and key. So it's trust us, guys. We've got your best interest at heart.
Yeah, don't ask questions, you bigot. Trust the science.
Exactly.
Trust it, you bigots.
And DJ Ronnie, great to see you, says ding 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 regarding misdirection. Absolutely, yes. Nosferatu, great to see you as well. It's all misdirection. Yes, and
I'm starting to think these people think that they're so much smarter than we are. And that, I mean, let's be honest, I mean, they think we're parasites. They think anybody who lives outside of the beltline of DC or outside of Los Angeles or, King County and Seattle are all cannibals, and we all intermarry like we're on the House of the Dragon. So we're a subspecies, and when you think someone is a subspecies, and when you don't give them basic human dignity, you find yourself able to do virtually anything you want to them.
Yes, as we have seen throughout history. Yes,
and starting in March 2022, but can't talk about that.
We can absolutely talk about that. And hey to Brandon, great to see you, says woo woo, absolutely, yes.
Do that woo that you do so well on Wild, Weird, Werewolf, Woo Woo Wednesday.
Very good. Nice. Well done. Nosferatu says, the thing is, Salty, that the majority of the population are all muted dullards. So the elites aren't even hiding their agenda these days. Quite the opposite.
Fair.
We're on the same wavelength there, Nosferatu. Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, I think undeniably Nosferatu, there's a huge element of that. I think there's another element of people that have just checked out. I think there's a lot of people who have walked away and have turned this noise off. And I think there's a lot more of those people than people realize. Maybe it's generational, maybe it's not, but I think there's a lot of people who if the news is on and someone's mouth is moving, assume that person is lying. And I have certainly been like that for a number of years, not because I want to be, not because it's cool, but because it's true, So, yeah.
Yes, it is very curious, and it is weird that these things just keep popping up. Usually whenever they talk about UFOs, they want to bury them as quickly as possible, but it's like, yeah, we've got this stuff, but you're never going to see it. That sucks to be you.
Yeah. Yeah. P.T. Barnum used to do the same thing.
Yes.
It was about the theater of the mind, imagination, about tempting, about just pay the price of admission, and you'll get to go see the famous egress. And people would go, and of course an egress is an exit.
Yeah.
And yeah, I see you, Blaine's Escape Corner, Mr. Seattle. I live there too. You want to wave your King County around? I'll go a couple rounds with you, Blaine. Just gonna say that.
So. Great to see you, Blaine. I'd like to see. Well, I don't know whether I've never been to Seattle, so
10 years ago.
10 years ago. Okay.
Now wear muck boots to step over all the human excrement and dead homeless people all over town.
Nice. That's exactly what you need. All right, let's move on. So the next one that I wanted to talk about briefly was scientists spot potential sign of life in Venus's atmosphere. Now, I thought Venus was one of those planets that they thought would never be able to actually have life, but let's see what they've got to say. So an international team of astronomers has detected a rare molecule in the atmosphere of Venus that could be produced by living organisms, according to a study published on Monday. The discovery instantly puts the brightest planet in the night sky back into the conversation about where to search for extraterrestrial life. I don't know. What do you think, Salty? Do you think Venus is where we're going to find aliens?
Well, so the thing about the surface of Venus is it's not hospitable to any Earth-like life that can be out there, but there is speculation that some type of life could exist in the upper atmosphere, and I think that's what this is referring to.
It is, yes.
And so the fascinating thing is Venus has this crazy surface haze or these clouds that cover it, but at the surface, underneath all those layers of clouds, it's actually between 86 to 176 degrees Fahrenheit. The problem is it doesn't have an atmosphere. It's incredibly corrosive, what's down there. It's very acidic. So, I don't know what the hell could be living down there, Yes, bacteria are like living control rods. It's true. Are you talking about people in the federal government, bacteria? Or maybe it's the EU. Maybe it's the EU. I agree.
A little bit of column A, a little bit of column B. Yes, absolutely. So let's see what they've got to say. So researchers made it clear that this is not direct detection of life on Venus, but the astronomical observations confirm the highly intriguing presence of the chemical phosphorine near the top of the acidic clouds, which Salty just mentioned, that blanket the planet. Phosphorine is a simple molecule produced on Earth by bacteria and through industrial processes. As a result, it is on the list of molecules, oxygen being another, considered by scientists to be potential biosignatures of life on Earth-sized planets whose atmosphere can be viewed through telescopes.
It's fascinating because they went out of their way. And I noticed things like this where they talked about Venus. It could be an off-gassing or chemical from an industrial operation. Why would you say that about Venus? I mean, I know it's a relevant thing, but are they saying there could be factories producing UFOs that could invade Earth?
Watch this.
Is that what we're saying?
That's it. That's what I'm going to take away from this. Absolutely, yes. Factories all over Venus producing this byproduct.
Yeah. And what's being produced in Uranus? That's the real question, isn't it? Dun, dun, dun.
Speaking of Uranus, I'm going to go off in a little diversion since you brought that up. Apparently, there is a probe that they want to send there to look at it, and of course, they made the absolutely fatal mistake of asking the internet to name the probe. Would anybody like to guess what the top answer was?
The Amber Heard detection system? I don't know. What is it? If it has to do with Uranus, that's where I'd go to. Purple, I'm on the edge of my seat.
Operation Butt Plug.
I can do better than that.
Yeah, come on, step up your game, internet. Come on, guys, you've got this.
That's like 3rd grade, guys. That's like 3rd grade in the 80s. You can come up with something else. Like you can come up with a clever acronym that spells ASS. Like the Astrological Sphincter Survey. Then you got an acronym. The government loves acronyms, so ASS.
They do. Yeah, you can
Thank
that
you.
past them. Yes.
Brandon gets it. Yeah.
I have a sense of have a sense of humour of a 12-year-old, so it did make me smile earlier. So yes. Oh my god, what are they saying about this alien potential bioproduct? Let's have a look. So researchers said they know of no non-biological explanation for the relatively high abundance of this molecule, aliens, in the Venusian atmosphere. We did our very best. The factory, exactly. Lots of alien factories up there. We did our very best to show what else would be causing phosphorine in abundance. We found on Venus. We found nothing. We found nothing close, said Clara Souza Silva, a molecular astrophysicist, at the Massachusetts Institute of Technology. I haven't got my glasses on, and a co-author of the paper, which was published on Monday. So, I don't know. Do you think we're going to be getting aliens coming from Venus instead of Mars?
So that paragraph you're focused on right there. The atmosphere is dominated by sulfuric freaking acid. And carbon dioxide. The surface of the planet is acidic as hell. I think if we sent a conventional probe right now down in there, it probably would be like that scene, if you've seen The Expanse, when they send the probes in and they go through the atmosphere when the anomaly thing. Yeah, that's pretty much what's going to happen. And it's a rock. It's an acidic rock. I don't know what the hell could be up there. There could be meteor impacts or things that have exploded in the atmosphere on entry or something, that there might have been this crap within all of the asteroids that might have hit it. That's the part that I'd go. I mean,
we've talked about that as well in the past, where life is most likely from the universe to have come from asteroids.
Yeah.
Which it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. I don't know. I guess it's cool. I mean, as long as I don't want billions of dollars to study it and then turn it into an LGBTQ plus communist education course, I guess it's fine,
And I think cameraman Shay kind of nails it. He says alien farts are clouding the Venus atmosphere.
Yes, all of the Venusians working at the factories on the surface of Venus. In their cows, the cow farts on Venus are producing global warming on Venus. That's what it is. Ask Bill G. He'll tell you
because that's
all
what
about it.
Cows do, apparently. Yes.
Yeah. No, I'm not eating bugs. Kiss my ass. Seriously.
Not eating bugs, not living in a pod. No, not gonna happen. So, as we were saying, it says Venus has been overshadowed by Mars as a potential abode for life because of the planet's dense atmosphere and proximity to the sun.
Good luck with that.
Yeah. I can't see Elon Musk going to Venus anytime soon.
Yeah. Let's set up colonies on the moon first.
Yeah.
Set up colonies on the moon first. Let's learn our lessons there.
Yeah.
Let's learn our lessons there, because if things go haywire and Charlie Foxtrot, you got a chance of making it back. You know, Mars, you're dead. Venus, you're dead before you hit the surface. Let's be honest about it. But
yes, it also points out here that phosphine is a toxic, malodorous gas that is extremely poisonous and has been used in chemical weapons.
World War One.
Mustard gas.
Phosphine gas, and it would eat away at the masks, the rudimentary masks of the World War I soldiers. And it caused extensive bronchial things where people never recovered.
Yeah.
But by all means, let's think about building a colony there. What could go
exactly? Wrong? Yeah, let's go check that out. Yeah, I swear, humans.
These people are morons. I swear to God.
But yeah, it's a pretty long article, but I thought it was pretty funny. It's like, well, why Venus all of a sudden? Yeah, we've been talking about Mars for such a long time, and now they think that Venus is the way to go.
It's fascinating because I don't know if you guys saw this. This flew under the radar a little bit. Now, we've known for a long time that the surface and composition of the moon, our moon here that rotates around the Earth, which is a weird thing. Look into that. But that it is composed of an element called helium-3. Why should you care? Helium-3, in controlled laboratory conditions, has been a very leading candidate for fusion nuclear power. The difference between fusion nuclear power and fission nuclear power, we currently use fission, is the decay of radioactive elements, which then produces radioactive waste that they like to bury out in the deserts of my country out there. And apparently it's never going to leak, even though it's leaking. But my point with all this is that there's not a lot of helium-3 on the surface of the Earth. Well, there's this little country across the Pacific called China, which just sent shit up to the moon. We can't even get a rocket. Anyway, they went up there and they had a rover and they collected samples of this helium-3. Because they're building the world's largest, hottest fusion reactor in China right now.
Yeah, there's absolutely no way that anything could go wrong with that.
So what we're talking about is, follow me, because this isn't crazy. The crazy thing is that it's real. We're talking about potential industrial level mining operations on our moon to then bring back helium-3 to fuel this incredibly huge, the largest fusion reactor ever created in history by China. And you know what we're doing here? Oh my God, I almost went to the one thing I can't say on this on YouTube. What we're doing is we're destroying ourselves and we're applying labels and we're destroying our economy and we're not using our own natural gas and our own resources and we're going to eat bugs. But I mean, the problem with all of this is there's a little story by an author you may have heard called H.G. Wells. Now, H.G. Wells wrote a novel called The Time Machine. Now, this starts out in Victorian England with a guy who creates a time machine, but he goes forward into like the 21st century, I believe. And what happens? We're mining the moon. And there's an industrial accident on the moon which splits and blows apart the moon, and then that destroys the Earth. Because the moon is incredibly important to our atmosphere, our tides, all of the things that happen here on the planet. It's just fascinating, isn't it? Makes you believe in a thing of an order that's new in the world, doesn't it?
Yes, and like having things ordered and in a new way.
Yeah.
Yes. Brandon says, "Yep, the moon shatters. It does indeed." Yeah, and in the meantime, we've now got fracking back in the UK. So, yay for that! Thank you for that, the government. But there's
a shitload of oil under Buckingham Palace. You know that, right? There's thousands and thousands of years of oil right under Buckingham Palace. You don't believe me, chat? Go look on the internet. It's true. It's true.
Worth pointed out also that Buckingham Palace isn't actually owned by the royal family. It's owned by the country. It's owned by the state.
Well, jack them out of there and drill that damn oil and tell the Russians to go F themselves. How hard is this? Sorry, that's just me being a Yank, you know? Let's solve the problem instead of going, hey,
that's being pragmatic. Exactly.
Excuse me, you have to pay £20,000 a month for your electricity bill because reasons. Yeah, kiss my ass.
And Nosferatu says, "Have you ever seen the kid climbing out of Buckingham Palace?" Yes, I have. Yes, over the years, people have climbed into and out of Buckingham Palace. Funnily enough, and I think one person actually got all the way into the Queen's bedroom and had a conversation with her before he got hauled away.
I thought that was like a Prince Andrew joke you couldn't make on YouTube. You guys know what I'm talking about, right? He went to Jeff's island.
He went to some island on a plane, yeah. Oh my god, we're gonna get shut down. But that's okay.
Yeah, we are. We are. We really are. There was an article I wanted to cover on the Tuesday show last night. It was too depressing. But yeah, we're gonna get shut down. We're all gonna get shut down. Big channels first, then us. That's what's gonna happen.
But the way I see it, since this show isn't being shown anyway, it's not showing up on the main page, we might as well talk about everything because YouTube's hiding it anyway, so what the hell?
It's true. I watched half my views disappear from my video today. I love when that happens. Nobody cares, though. It's just YouTube is a terrible, terrible place. Let's just say that. Don't pin your hopes and dreams onto this. I'll just tell you what, kids. Do something else with your lives. Don't do this.
Take up gardening or carpentry or something. Yeah.
I don't know. I wouldn't recommend it to anybody. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my god, it's Nosferatu says salty knows my humor too well. Absolutely. Damn straight.
Anger turned inwards is depression, my friend. Anger externalized is humor. True story.
And Brandon says, "Yep, seen views vanish too." Yep, that's what I've heard from a lot of people, unfortunately. And Gun Bunny, yes, I also had it show up on the phone, but on the actual, on a laptop or on the actual screen, weirdly enough, it's not there. But on the app it shows up. But thank you, sweetheart. It's always good to see you, as always. And yes, Cavatenio, Caverman, Shay, absolutely collect gold and silver. Excellent advice.
True story. And not ETFs. What are ETFs? Electronically traded funds. If you don't have it in your hot little hand, you don't own it.
Yes. Physical. What were you saying about having physical media and physical things?
Media. Yes, physical precious metals, physical pew-pews, physical beans, physical band-aids, physical books, physical DVDs.
Yes, if you can touch it, it's real. Exactly.
Yeah, just don't touch everything.
Yes, yeah, be careful. At least wash your hands after. Absolutely.
Yeah, especially if Amber Heard has slept in the guest room. Get somebody else to handle that, guys. For real.
Somebody else to change the sheets.
Just buy new ones. Buy new ones. All right, what the hell are we talking about? We got red-haired giants?
Yes. But I have a little bit of deviation away from the aliens because we talk aliens, but we also like to talk redheads here on Rise with Purple Valkyrie because why the hell not? So, Nevada's mysterious red-haired giants of Lovelock Cave. Now, I do remember this vaguely. Look at that. Looks like Ron Perlman.
It does. It does. I wonder if there's like a Biden-Harris bumper sticker that was found on his prehistoric
across the forehead
cart. Yeah.
Let's see what they've got to say. So in 1924, archaeologists found the remains of a red-haired giant in Sitikar of...
There's a lot of those.
It's a lot of red. Weirdly enough, they do show up, and most giants that I found have red hair. So we'll get to that in a little bit. Let's have a look. Of Patau, I hope I've pronounced that correctly, folklore in Lovelock Cave, Nevada. Is this fact, fiction, or legend? Let's see what they've got to say. So, Lovelock Cave in Nevada was first discovered in 1913 when prospectors found a huge deposit of bat guano in this cave.
Bat guano.
Lucky them. I'm not sure that's what they were looking for, but they seemed pretty pleased with it since bat guano is the basis for saltpeter, the main ingredient in gunpowder. The value of the find was obvious. Who knew that shit was so important?
Oh no, and especially in 1913, that was right before World War I, which started in 1914.
Yeah, it's almost as though they just found it right at the right time for that. Incredible.
I know, it's like finding an immunization to a virus that hasn't even been made yet, and you've got it.
It's just there. Holy crap.
Well, magic.
That's convenient.
Magic.
It goes on to say miners soon found other buried treasure beneath the mounds of Guanajuato, artifacts, and even the remains of what appeared to be red-haired giants, known as the Sitikar of local Patau legend. In 1924, the archaeological expedition arrived from Berkeley University, and the rest is history. So, is this something that you've heard of before, Salty? You're familiar with red-headed giants? Because I know we've got stories of them over in the UK, mainly from Ireland, obviously, and I know mainland Europe also has a lot of stories about them as well.
There are numerous instances of red-haired giants in their graves being found around mound culture in the lower and upper middle west of the country. And full skeletons, red hair attached to mummified remains that seem to have undergone ritualistic burial. These are things they didn't teach us in school, and I don't know why. But what you're referring to, again, it's like there were cultures here in North America long ago. And what they were, I don't know. But they were here. And for whatever reason, nobody seems really interested in finding out who the hell they were, when the hell they were here, what the hell they were doing, and why they were so different than we were.
Yes, you know? why they were so big and why they would be considered giants to modern day people. And as we know, humans have steadily gotten taller because our diet has gotten better as the ages have gone on. But these guys were much taller than the average human now. And we've talked in the past about megafauna as well, and how important that was.
You guys aren't going to believe this. President Abraham Lincoln, the Abraham Lincoln, in 1848, when he was stumping to become a senator and lost, said, and I quote, "The eyes of that species of extinct giant whose bones fill the mounds of our America have gazed on Niagara as ours do now." Guys, like, they found this stuff all the time. Why aren't we talking about this? Why are we talking about chopping junk on, sewing junk off, what my pronouns are, communism, blah, blah? Who gives a shit? Why are we talking about the red-haired giants? Abraham Lincoln, smart guy, wouldn't go to the theater and sit next to him. Wouldn't sit next to him at the theater. But WTF? Really?
Sorry.
Am I killing you today? Am I derailing your show yet again? No, you know why? Because it's wild, weird. It's wild, weird. Woo-woof. Woo-woo Wednesday. All right, I'm going to shut up. I'm sorry.
What the hell are they saying about Lovelock Cave? So apparently it is located approximately 20 miles south of modern-day Lovelock, Nevada. Uh, it was previously known as a horseshoe cave because of its U-shaped interior. Well, duh. The cave is approximately 40 feet deep and 60 feet wide. That's not a particularly big cave, to be fair.
Like a cavelet. Are you being sizist on the caves?
I am absolutely. Yeah, I'm judging it. I'm very much judging it.
Wow.
So that's less of a cave, more of a burial mound.
So many jokes I want to make, Purple. Chat, you make them for me because I can't say it.
Yeah, the chat will come up with their own punchlines. That's why I love
Nosferatu. I bet you he won't disappoint. Yeah.
So it says it's an ancient cave predating human arrival on the continent. Are you sure about that? In prehistoric times, it lay underneath the giant inland Lohantan Lake, which was once covered much of western Nevada. Geologists have determined that the lake's currents and wave action formed a shelf, which in time became a cave. It's here that the supposed remains of the city car were discovered in 1924.
Go stop there. Many Native American tribes from the Northwest and Southwest have related legends of the red-haired giants and how their ancestors fought terrible wars against them after the first encounter about 15,000 years ago. What happened? Around 11,600 years ago, guys. That major asteroidal impact on the ice caps of North America, which essentially erased the surface of North America, where the glaciers were. Now, anything under the glaciers was ground flat, but all that water rushed out. So again, we're still coming up with this bullshit stuff that, like, oh yeah, human beings evolved in Africa at a certain point, and that's it. Wrong. I believe that's firmly wrong. I think we have many episodes of human or proto-human or near-human history that maybe people know about. I would say if anybody has it, it would have been in the Library of Alexandria. What happened to that? It got burned down by a woke SJW mob, literally, back in the day. True story. And whatever was saved is in the Vatican Library.
Yes, you're not going to see that anytime soon. That is not going to happen.
We all know what's going on over there too.
Yes. But you're absolutely correct, and it even goes on to say here, even the Aztecs and Mayans have recorded their encounters with a race of northern giants when they
not only that
out.
Sorry, Purple. Not only that, look at certain religious texts from a literary standpoint. There are descriptions of those battles occurring in the Middle East as well. Okay, so whatever this was, it was something just inconvenient. I mean, again, why are we not spending our time talking about this shit? Why? It seems like a lot more worthwhile pursuit than the utter nonsense they're teaching kids today. Just gonna say that.
Agreed. And Hail to Soul Assassin, great to see you. It says there was something on Twitter about the Smithsonian being ordered to release all of their information on giants. That would be great. I would love that. The Smithsonian's kind of a little bit weird at the moment, so I sent Salty a link earlier from the Smithsonian website talking about Tolkien, and yeah, it was a hell of a thing. But
you guys are gonna guess. You guys are gonna guess what it was. You're gonna guess what it was, right? It's this clown world. It's effing clown world.
So let's see if they've got anything. What I really want is to see if they've got any pictures other than Ron Perlman at the top of the page. But I kind of like this. I mean, I'm not a huge fan of caves in general. I'd never be one of those people to go spelunking or whatever the hell it's called, where you just crawl into a cave and disappear.
I've spelunked, but I'm 6'5", and I have really broad shoulders, so I didn't get that far yet. Oh, ladies.
Make up your own jokes there, chat.
I actually have some pictures of some giant skeletons that were found in the Midwest, Purple Valkyrie. I will pull them up because
nice.
I vaguely know how to YouTube. Vaguely. So there's one example right there that you can take. There are countless ones.
Oh, look at that.
There are, yeah. Now, these skeletons have been found again around very ancient mounds that occur all around the upper and central Midwest. I know Nathan Amanda Manethrin knows what I'm talking about. He's in Ohio. I grew up in the upper Midwest near the Canadian border, and we had these mounds everywhere, and they were attributed to modern Native American tribes, the Menominee, the Winnebago, things along those lines. Madison, Wisconsin has multiple mounds all throughout the city in the shape of deer, eagles, other things, just fascinating things. And nobody knows. Nobody cares. They're busy burning shit down and changing their pronouns, and nobody is looking up, and nobody's caring about the past. I don't know. This stuff seems to me to be a hell of a lot cooler than this modern insanity. And I'll bring something else up, Purple. You can go back to your
absolutely.
article.
And I'm just kind of looking through at the moment, and as you absolutely say, there is stories all over the world of these giants, and weirdly enough, we talked about it. They all have the kind of red hair. We've seen it in Europe. I know Ireland obviously has a lot, and we also have things like the mounds, the burial mounds, and that's where some of these bones were found. Also,
I'm gonna bring up another article just to substantiate what I said, because I know everybody believes everything that I say, right? Because that's what you should do. This article in particular, this comes from Graham Hancock, who to me is, I think, one of the best archaeo explorers and writers out there. And it talks about all of the numerous sites throughout America where these giants have been found. Now, like I'd mentioned, the state of Ohio may be the richest and most unusual deposit and find site for these red-haired giants. Not only are there numerous finds of giants that are 8 to 10 feet tall. All right, 8 to 10 feet tall. But there are also
2 purple Valkyries.
Yeah, I mean, that's like 1 and like 2 more feet of me. Among the most significant are the Cincinnati tablets. There are tablets inscribed with hieroglyphs in Ohio, and textiles that resemble those found in Assyria and Babylon.
Yes.
They also found a skull that a surgeon in Cincinnati exhibits evidence of brain surgery that shows knowledge of practical surgery, scarcely excelled at present day, as well as evidence of metallurgy. There's a ton of this stuff.
That's crazy.
It's just inconvenient, isn't it? I mean, I guess you don't have any time when you're hiring people based on their pronouns and physical attributes and who they have sex with. You might not get the best people who actually give a shit about actually doing science and archaeology. Maybe.
Yes. I remember back in the day when people actually wanted to learn more about the world and less about themselves. But fingers crossed we finally get back to that. But Zach says, do we know if they identified as giants? Good points.
Yeah. Dude, could you imagine like a giant chick? Like how? Never mind. Sorry, Purple. I'll let you get back to your article.
I'll leave you with that thought. Jacob Ironside said, "Are you related to the giants, Purple?" I think I'm closely related to hobbits. I think that would wrong height. We've got to go up rather than go down rather than up.
Oh.
But
I'm just. Do you realize what? Never mind. You made a great joke.
I do realize what I said.
All right, okay, never mind.
Yeah, I gotcha. Oh my god, I nearly clicked on the wrong one. There we go. All right. Since I was talking about hobbits, what I thought I would bring up is this one as well, since we're talking about different types of hominids that have been found. Now, I'm sure you guys remember this, the modern day hobbit that was talked about, and it was pretty famous for quite a while, but now they are asking, was it actually a hoax? So, as the search for the modern relatives of the Flores Islands Homo florensis turned into a hoax hunt. Everything that scientists thought about human evolution changed in 1856 after the first fossil evidence of ancestral human forms was discovered by quarrymen in the Neander Valley in Germany. sparking a great debate about the then unknown evolution of our species. The discovery of this Neanderthal skull marked the beginnings of human paleontology, and it also initiated a volume of new questions pertaining to how many other early human ancestors were out there and still awaiting discovery. Now, this chimes in with what we were talking about earlier. I don't think that we even know how many versions of humans have actually been and gone.
No, I mean, again, one of the things I continually recommend, and I will recommend it again, go listen to Joe Rogan's podcast with Graham Hancock. One of the first ones, I think it's 602, 608. Listen to that conversation. You know, form your own opinions as to what the planet was like. Looking at ice core data related to oxygen and CO2 isotopes in the atmosphere, also the global planetary temperature.
Mm-hmm.
But a big part of that is talking about what North America looked like, in this presumption that nothing ever happened in North America. Everything only happened in Africa, in Asia, in Europe. And that despite this being this incredibly fertile, lush, beautiful place, which, you know, the upper third, including Canada, was under miles of ice, that nobody ever lived here.
Mm-hmm.
That sounds like bullshit to me. I knew that when I was 6. But I mean, here we are. There's been a lot of things that have happened, and they're inconvenient to people who get tenure and who get funded, not by doing science, but by doing what the corporations and the benefactors that have given them money want them to find. Like cow farts and eating bugs. Multiple
Population
genders.
control. Yeah. All that fun stuff.
What a world.
But if we want to look at ourselves as a species, this is the direction we need to go in. Not, you know, changing who we are, but who we were, where we came from. So as it says here, the one of those famous ones, and the one that a lot of people, other than Neanderthals, which I think were a completely separate species, which is why they couldn't compete with humans, was the Cro-Magnon, obviously. And there are multiple others leading up until the current day Homo sapien, which is us.
Yeah.
But yeah, it even says here, incidentally, the 7 million years reference comes from a 2001 discovery of a partial fossil leg bone and 2 forearm bones in Central African nation of Chad that represent the earliest known hominid, which was around 7 million years ago, which both walked upright and climbed in the trees. So somewhat of a kind of bridge between primate and human.
Yeah, and I'm going to do that thing that I like to do, where what did the planet look like 7 million years ago? 7 million years ago. Because again, it didn't look like it does now, you know, because of plate tectonics and things going on around the planet. So what did it look like? Interactive ancient map. Yeah, you're going to have to, I can't just make a jump, unfortunately. I've got to.
That's all right. And hey to Andy Masterson, good to see you. Says modern Europeans have mitochondrial Neanderthal DNA. I've heard that as well. Dave Bob, great to see you as always. He says, woo woo, absolutely. Hell yes, we are. And Nosferatu says, oh, if I can grab it, there we go. Stream yards. Why don't we still know what the missing link is? I'm convinced it's Pete Davidson. I'm right there with you. I think you might actually be correct in that. Yes.
Yeah. And I can't find it. I hate the internet. Yeah, but it didn't look like it did now. But not only that, but you have to reconcile the fact that the continental shelves, when you look at a globe or a map and it has that edge off of all of the continents, that was above water. That was above water, guys. So the Earth looked very different. It wasn't that difficult to cross the Atlantic. I mean, it wasn't a cakewalk, but you know, that's why, going back to the red-haired giants, they have found red-haired giants in Illinois at a particular mound site, which is the largest in North America, with species of seashells around its neck, which are from the Mediterranean. But hey, we can't talk about that. We have to talk about pronouns and eating bugs and communism. And
yes,
yeah,
and all
absolutely
the important stuff that we as a species need to be focused on. But I don't know. I thought this was an interesting article, but I'm still not convinced that these fossils are the oldest. And there's a kind of very tenuous grasp of where do you go back? How far do you go back to consider something human?
You also need a context of a lot of this science and a lot of the dating technology was based upon old paradigms before they started doing ice core samples in the last 20, 30 years. They're still operating, which to me, on a very deliberately flawed time scale and perspective of things. Because you're not going to get tenure and you're not going to get money if you're uprooting all of the people who are the ones who would give you that money and that tenure. See how that works? Yeah. The same lies have to be repeated because you won't be an assistant professor of Hobbit gender studies or whatever the hell
it is. Whatever made up bullshit that you want to do. Absolutely.
Oh, listen to the mouth on Purple Valkyrie. Oh my god. All right, I'm going to bring up that article.
Yes,
okay. Let's start going down this road.
Yeah, let's live dangerously and bring up that one to talk about.
So
I think it's interesting.
If an alphabet agency comes through my door, and because that's where my door is, and you see guys in SWAT gear putting me on the ground, I didn't Epstein myself. I'm going to say that. So why I'm bringing this up is to set a context. We were talking about the United States military refusing to release more information about all of these UFO sightings, which has a narrative that's been built since about 2017, 2018, continually. Most famously, the TikTok UFO of the Nimitz flight group. Now, I do believe there is something to that. What the hell it is, I don't know. But now we're starting to see things like this, that UFO obsession is now being called a new religion, and that around the world, it is replacing Christianity, Judaism, Islam, Buddhism as a religion because people are seeing these alien craft. Look at that. That's awesome animation.
That's great.
So what's fascinating about this is, again, this professor of North Carolina says that, quote, a new form of belief, a new form of religious belief, a new form of religiosity. And of course, then they crap on people who say that it's demonic encounters. Now, why should you care about that? Because the next article we're going to go to, which I need to find it, I can do this.
And they've kind of linked this in the past as well when they talked about New Ageism, and they tried to kind of push it to one side and kind of beat it down that way. And they really did not want anything kind of alien-based or anything supernatural-based to be on the same level as organized religion.
So this article here, we talked about showing it to you guys or not. The problem with this article is that it makes a lot of sense, unfortunately. And I have to be extraordinarily careful how I present this information. Now, I'm going to go off camera for a moment because I need to get the right headgear for this. Hold on.
And if you guys would like to read this for yourselves, what I would probably do is link it in the description below as well.
Yes, I've got my appropriate hat.
Very nice.
For this one. Yeah, it is tinfoil, by the way. So it talks about the day the Earth stood still and how this movie came out in the 50s and how like the aliens were coming because they were going to destroy mankind because man was going to blow up the planet because of the Cold War and Cold War tensions between the United States and Soviet Union, that the aliens were coming because they were essentially demanding that humanity stop being so reckless. Then we had a movie, a shitty remake, I know, right? A reimagining with Keanu Reeves where it was about climate change with Keanu Reeves, where the aliens were coming because they gave a shit about climate change in that movie. And the Keanu Reeves, same thing. He's going to destroy all of humanity to save the planet because human beings are a plague and a virus upon the planet in which they evolved on. This article talks about how a fake alien invasion may be planned in 2024 to distract people from certain things And that a lot of the reasons we've been seeing all of this random UFO footage in the media, including the Nimitz, other things, all of these articles randomly appearing while the Department of Defense says they're not going to release any of that data to anybody,
Yes.
that really this has to do with conditioning people to believe that something is about to happen.
We're being drip-fed information, and as we know, what's the one thing that we as a population will actually fall in line for? Being told something over and over again until you believe it.
Yeah, now it's fascinating. I'm not going to read part of that sentence, but I've highlighted it for a reason. You guys can read it at home. Is that Dr. Carrie Magee? She's a whistleblower on transhumanism, which is terrifying. And the deadly thing that people put in their arms, has asserted that this is to undermine the faith of the United States, which is a largely Judeo-Christian nation. Our values in our country are predicated upon Judaism, Christian values. They are. It's an objective opinion. It's just that all of this UFO footage that's being released is not being done on MSNBC.
No.
CNN. Where's it being shown? On a cable news network, which is, I believe, controlled opposition, but essentially caters to what you would call a right-leaning audience, which might be more devout Christian. So they're conditioning people to believe in UFOs that wouldn't believe it and maybe go along with something that they have planned in 2024. Now, how the hell could they pull this off? I don't know. How did they pull off 2 weeks to slow the spread? How did they pull off getting you to stand 6 feet apart and follow masking tape arrows on the grocery store floor?
Yes.
Is this that much of a jump?
Protect yourself and other
Is
people.
this?
Yeah.
Shit, I lost my tinfoil hat on that one. It's hot, actually. Now I know what my cheeseburger feel like. So how would they pull this off, right? We've seen footage in China, of them projecting huge holographs of cities, of things in the sky, and they're very believable. Not only that, but look into the research of DARPA. I have got to be so careful with what they've been doing with light and holograms and holographic things that are occurring. You can find it very easily out there. But you could imagine these holograms of big UFOs, of big things up in the sky, on the clouds. These would be the size of cities. And imagine if they had, and I know this may shock you, the media may not tell the truth about things, that they would have all of these cable news networks talking about how it's an alien invasion, and that they've given us a set of directives that we have to follow in order to not be destroyed by the fake made-up alien fleet. Now, who's some people that maybe would want to do something like that? Who's some people that maybe funded a lot of researchers into viruses that maybe then they had the patents on? I don't know.
Yes.
Maybe people like that. But this shit is scary. It's scary because I'm talking about these things that are so insane that they unfortunately in 2022 make sense. Now, what's happening in 2024? I don't have to tell you what's happening in 2024. It's fascinating. I will link this article because there's a lot of things I want to say, but I will not say because it's not my channel. But it is fascinating.
It is
very fascinating.
Read. It is, and I've got a video that I can share just to show you guys what the actual what the cities in the sky look like, just to give you an idea. So let me make this a little bit bigger. I'm not going to put the sound on, but yeah, there you go. Yeah. That's what we've seen.
Oh, we're watching CNN right now. Oh, there it is. Yeah.
I think that's all they've got. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, the stuff with the research with DARPA and all that stuff, it's it's fascinating stuff. I mean, it really is. I'm trying to pull up some more things. So DARPA light projections. It sounds crazy.
It's fascinating, as you said, that over the last few years we've been kind of drip-fed information about UFOs, about sightings. We've had people more willing to come forward. We've had the change from people seeing what was traditionally the flying saucer to people reporting the Tic Tacs, and then we have the triangular shaped craft that a lot of people seem to see nowadays and are reporting. It is curious, and if they can make these projections in the sky, what else can be made? We've seen what can be done with AI.
Yeah, in a cursory inspection of the usual browser that I go to find things has revealed that a lot of the pictures that were from the last 10 years involving DARPA research, weird light things, amazingly powerful projections in the sky, is no longer there. As ever, I encourage you to do your own research. After 2020, there's nothing that would surprise me except our betters doing the right thing.
No.
Say that.
And in the meantime, we've talked about it a few times. We've still got the Hadron Collider going at full force, and we've got more of them being built in the future as well.
We should do a whole show on that where I show you the scope and scale and the amount of money that is being put into this. And once again, those of our friends in Europe this winter, when you're freezing to death and your children are cold and your parents are ice cubes, remember that Hadron Collider is using 1/3 of the overall power consumption of the entire continent of Europe, and it has absolutely green light to do it.
Absolutely. There was one more thing that I might talk about if Salty's got enough time.
I'm good.
Okay. Let's see, and I'll pull it up. Let's have a look. So this one, I think it's. I would take it with a kind of a pinch of salt, but I thought it was interesting enough to kind of at least talk about, because it's pretty much right around the corner as well. So let me share and let you guys decide for yourselves what you think. So
wow, we covered hobbits and giants, and we covered Venusian factories with cow farts on Venus. Now we covered the great fake alien invasion of 2024. What do you got now? Oh, this one. Holy shit. You want to do this one? Okay.
Yeah.
Why not? Why not? I'm going to get locked in the same place with the guys who went into the Capitol back in January, I guess, because that's how America works now, kids. Yeah.
So I'm not going to play the video, but I thought it was interesting enough to talk about. And since we talk woo-woo, it's worth talking about. So a German legislator apparently warns of September 24th, which is just around the corner, as you guys know, will be a day to remember. Now, it has since been said that he actually misspoke. He didn't say September, he said February. I've listened to the video a few times. He does not, but that's what they're going with. So, what do I know?
The fascinating thing about this, and I'm actually the one that brought this up to Purple Valkyrie the other day, and I was concerned about this. I don't know what to make of it. I'm just going to leave that there. Again, do your own research. But what's fascinating is a lot of these European parliaments, they talk about things that they shouldn't. I know in Austria, they've talked about things involving an order in the world that's new. They've talked about a Schwabi guy who's related to Santa Claus, and then they get shushed and yelled at and shouted down, which is the same exact thing that occurs in this video. So make of it what you will. It's troubling. Now, do I think, again, should you go down into your bunker, hunker down, play the Doors, and keep disassembling your rifle repeatedly until September 24th? I don't think so. The problem is the world that we live in now. Who the hell is looking out for our best interest? So that we find these things and we're like, it's not batshit crazy to imagine them doing yet another terrible thing to a bunch of people, like if it's for our own good. It's like, what? Like, I don't think so. I'm out. No.
I think the takeaway from this is, and one that I would probably recommend to absolutely everybody, is don't believe everything you read, do your own research, and just think outside the box. I think that's the best way that you can be at the moment, especially with everything that's gone on in the past few years. Do I think that there is something cataclysmic coming? Yes. Do I know what it is? No, not at all. But as I said, 24th is just around the corner. Now, I've heard things all the way from a certain former president has said he's going to run again, to Charles III is going to abdicate. So who knows? There's people
That's
just throwing out all sorts of things at the moment, because that's what we do when we don't know. We speculate.
and of course King Charles III is really the Prince of Wales, Prince Charles, the one
Yes.
whose wife Diana mysteriously died in a tunnel. And then he's with that horse lady. What the hell is her name? Camilla now. So she'll be the king's consort there. And
Yes.
again, what did Prince Charles, the new king of England, say about humanity? And I quote, "Humanity is a virus and a plague upon the earth, which should be eradicated." That's the new king of England. And I have to start rolling up Purple Valkyrie. Yep.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, guys, there you have it. Another very, very packed Woo Woo Wednesday. Big thank you to Salty, as always, for bringing just being brilliant. Thank you. I
bringing the truth, bringing a fetch taken reality, telling you WTF is really going on. No pretty blondes, no corporate sponsorship. Although we did have somebody reach out to me about product placement, which I'm kind of proud of. So you guys might see that on my channel. I know, right? Why?
Very nice.
But this is a fun show. It's good for me because we're not talking about pop culture. There's a lot to be unhappy about in pop culture. The thing about this is there's an unending supply of awesome woo-woo. I love the fact that last week we talked about ghosts and hauntings, and this week we talked about woo-woo, and next week maybe we'll talk about cryptids, or we'll talk about vampires or werewolves and stuff. It's fun. It's fun. And I thank you, Purple Valkyrie, for coming up with this idea. I have blocked off my work calendar, which has just been approved, so that I can do this every single Wednesday. So that's why I'm dipping off screen occasionally, because this is my lunch hour. And so I want to be here doing this. So
thank you. So thank you, guys. You guys are amazing, and great to see you, Gray, Wakazishi's Tea House. Hello.
Hail, Gray.
Geek Strong, great to see you. You guys are amazing. So please check out the stream that we did last night on Salty's channel. We had a fantastic Tuesday night chill stream. Really fantastic conversation. Loved it. I will be back tomorrow. We are reviewing season 5 of Cobra Kai, and there's more streams coming up. I will put them in the chat. I promise.
You're being way too you're not promoting all the great people that are going to be on your show tomorrow, Purple Valkyrie. Who's going to be on your show talking Cobra Kai? This is awesome.
We have got Amana Manefron himself, we have got Prophet of the Dragon, and we have returning heel versus babyface. We've got Az. He's had a fantastic time watching the show, he said, so really looking forward to chatting with him. So that is going to be fun. Guys, thank you, as always. Love getting to do these woo-woo shows. It's a nice midweek break. So we will see you very, very soon. Is there anything you want to tell anybody before we close out?
Yeah, quickly. Tonight I'm going to be playing Dungeons and Dragons. We're going to be finishing off our multi-month module, and this one is I don't remember what it was. All I know is what I put on Twitter was wrong. But I'm going to be playing with Nathan, Amanda Manefron, Purple Valkyrie, the one and only God, I just got stream banned. A whole bunch of people on OBG70's channel.
Squeaker Mouse, Jed.
Yep, and then there's somebody else, the Australians. McCabe. Nick McCabe's going to be there. Tomorrow night, Zax is on his channel, is going to be doing his What's Good, I believe. Then also, I am going to be doing the live watch starting at 11 p.m. Central of the most boring, expensive show ever made, The Rings of Power, episode 4. Yay. Yeah. So I'll be doing that tomorrow night at 11. Thanks for having me on, Purple Valkyrie. Y'all take care and chat. It's been wonderful seeing you guys.
Absolutely. Stay spooky, guys, and we will see you very, very soon. Take care.
Woo.